Welcome to Dispatches TV. I'm joined by Richard from the Lone Rat and also Josh from Elder Detachment Living History Group. Now we're at the Victory Show in Cosby. We just carried out a raid on the airfield. Now, would you mind telling me a little bit about what we actually done in a historical context, Richard?
So we were replicating the Sidi Hanesh raid in July 1942, the first time that the SAS used a V formation of jeeps to attack the airfield. We actually had 8 jeeps here, which was 10 less than they actually used, but it looked pretty damn impressive on the airfield.
Fantastic. And your backgrounds in getting into reenacting, I know you've done some work for Dispatches magazine, which I'm sure some of the readers might have already caught up on. But for those that haven't got a copy just yet, would you mind, both of you, telling me a little bit about your backgrounds? And Josh, would you mind going first for me?
Of course. So I've always had a passion for history. When I was 4 years old, driving back from Norfolk, we had to stop because of a heavy rainstorm, and we stopped into Imperial Arms in Duxford. And from then, I've basically been obsessed with history. Then, back in 2018, decided to get a Jeep. Basically bought it as a wreck and restored it from the ground up as originally LRDG, and then I changed it last year to SAS.
Fantastic. And Richard, your story is a little bit more varied, isn't it? It starts with your father.
Yes, and my father was a desert rat in the Second World War, and he always was quite vocal about his experiences, so I grew up learning a lot about his war, but also the war in general. I used to play toy soldiers with my best mate, who was half German. He was always the Axis forces. Action Men, Commando Comics, the whole shebang, playing with sticks as machine guns and pine cones as grenades. Always played soldiers as a kid. I seem to have grown up, well, seem to have not grown up actually. I'm doing it now, but with better looking guns. So my father died about 10 years ago, and I just decided for fun to buy a replica of his tropical KD kit. And I came to the show, Victory Show, 9 years ago, and I was blown away by the reenactors that I spoke to about their passion, their willingness to share knowledge, and it just seemed like a really fun thing to do. So my whole reenacting career, if you could call it almost, started from there. And I ended up doing many different impressions. I do Boer War, Jacobite Rebellion, Napoleonic. I did a little bit of Greek. I've done British Airborne, but mainly I do basically I do desert. But now I bought a Jeep about 3 years ago, and it was normal olive drab. I painted it desert. I called it Yellow Knight, which was the same name as my father's lorry. He was a Royal Army Service Corps driver, and he called his lorry Yellow Knight after his favourite his favourite thing as a child was his white racing bike called White Knight. So his lorries were always named Yellow Knight, as is my Jeep. And I converted it to Long Range Desert Group because I thought I could have a lot of fun portraying these people. These were crazy men that did amazing tasks during the Second World War, and I thought they were worth giving a little bit of a shout to and try and keep their memory alive.
Fantastic. And so, for a little bit of context, you've also taken this a little bit further, haven't you? Because you take your uniform, you take the knowledge, the history that you've researched, and you also now go to North Africa, don't you?
Yeah. So I went to Alamein as a guest with a guy who's very experienced in North African battlefields, and I sort of realised that there's some synergy because of what I do. I meet regularly relations of veterans. I thought I'd love to do this, so I've become a bit of a public speaker recently, and I thought I've got the confidence to do tour guiding. I've been doing that for over a year. I've just come back from Tunisia. This time next weekend I'll be in El Alamein taking guests. It's a really good bolt-on basically to the hobby, and hopefully it'll start to pay for my hobby, which is a very expensive hobby to have.
Yes, it is. Reenacting as a whole is quite expensive, especially when you start getting beauty such as Jeeps. Now, I appreciate your, packing up for, the Victory Show, going back home. It's a long drive for everyone. But one last question. Dispatches magazine is now finding out, what do you think about you're going to be writing for next to the magazine? Because if you don't know, Richard does write for the magazine.
So, yes, we normally do about 12 or 13 shows a year, so we are really busy. I mean, Josh comes with me on some of them. I work with bigger groups as well, so there's lots of content. And so Napoleonic is one of my second favourite impressions. There's nothing quite like the smell of black powder. So there's plenty I can write about, and even there's things, maybe stories about my father I might add in there as well. So it could be quite varied.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks for joining for the very first episode of Dispatches TV. We'll be at the We Have Ways Festival in 2 weeks' time. So no doubt we'll catch up with Richard and the Lone Rat there, especially Josh. For now, see you guys later.
Thank you.